We've all been there. You're at a party, you're hanging out with some friends, and there's only one slice of pizza left. Who gets it? Is it whoever called dibs on it first, or whoever went and picked up the pizza? Does it belong to the person hosting the party or hangout? Or maybe the person who only got one slice as opposed to everyone else's two? Navigating ownership in group settings can be a tricky task. It's no different when it comes to the Affordable Care Act and businesses in a common ownership structure. That's why in this video, we'll be going over controlled groups and common ownership and how these two things are handled within the ACA. We'll briefly go over the general rules of what makes up an applicable large employer before diving deeper into the nuts and bolts of common ownership and controlled groups. Let's get into it. First off, before we start talking about controlled groups and common ownership, we first need to establish where they fit into the larger framework of the ACA. One of the more important elements of the Affordable Care Act is its applicable large employer requirement. Essentially, if you're a business with 50 or more full-time employees in a calendar year, you're subject to the ACA's health insurance reporting rules. But what if your business has fewer than 50 employees, but is part of a larger group of businesses that are all owned by the same person or larger business? This corporate structure, often referred to as common ownership, is a pretty common practice in the business world. As such, the IRS has outlined rules for how businesses within this kind of structure are handled within the ACA. This is where controlled groups come into play. For the IRS's applicable large employer requirement, businesses in a common ownership model are considered one employer. Of course, not every corporate structure is the same. As such, the IRS has defined 3 different types of control groups for determining if your business is an applicable large employer: parent-subsidiary, brother-sister, or combined group. While all these different types of groups are all considered controlled groups, and as such applicable large employers, there are some differences between them. A parent-subsidiary group exists when one corporation, the parent corporation, owns at least 80% of stock in one or more subsidiary corporations. A brother-sister group exists when a group of 5 or fewer owners, an owner is defined here as an individual, trust, or estate, own a controlling interest in 2 or more corporations and have effective control. The IRS defines controlling interest as owning at least 80% of stock in said corporations, while effective control exists when the identical stock between each owner collectively adds up to 50%. Finally, there's a combined group. As the name would suggest, this is a combination of both a parent-subsidiary and a brother-sister group. Firstly, there must be a group of 3 or more corporations. On top of that, each corporation must be in a parent-subsidiary or brother-sister control group, with one of the corporations being a common parent in a parent-subsidiary group. One important note: while all the corporations within a controlled group are considered an applicable large employer, each company is still responsible for its own reporting obligations. There isn't one company that completes all of the ACA compliance requirements for all members of the controlled group. That was a lot. If you have any lingering questions, check out our article on controlled groups linked in the description for a more detailed dive into common ownership and ACA compliance. Please like, subscribe, and follow to ensure your business keeps up with the latest in ACA compliance.